Hello everybody, my name is Jay and welcome to thunderbaytrees.ca, and today we're going to talk a little bit about mulching trees and why that's important. And today I have my little production assistant, and what's her name?
Darla.
This is my daughter Darla, and I just want to share, for illustrative purposes, the reason I have Darla here is because I want to let you demonstrate that mulching is child's play. That is pretty straightforward, it's pretty easy.
And this is Birdie, my assistant.
And Darla's assistant is little Birdie. That's great. Okay. Do you want to help me? We got to pick all the weeds out from around the tree.
Weed.
Yeah, no, make sure not to pick the tree. So we pick, and don't put that in the watering bucket, okay?
What's this?
It's a weed.
It doesn't look like a weed, it's a leaf.
It's a leafy weed. Okay, see? You helping out here? Should maybe move the bucket so people can see us pulling the weeds out. What do you think? So, do you know why we want to take the weeds away from the tree?
No.
Why do you think maybe?
Because it dies?
What'll die?
A tree.
Well, maybe, because you know what? Sometimes weeds take the water away from the trees. Is that a good thing?
No.
No way. Okay, so we do that.
Are these weeds?
Yeah, well, it's grass. Grass isn't a weed, but it's there. Okay, so we kind of cleared the weeds away, right?
Got that.
You get them all? I think we got most of them, right?
There's a spider.
Now I need you, Darla, to...
Hop on.
Can you lay down some newspaper? Just 1 or 2 layers down. Now the reason why we put this down, and it has to be really thin, like only 1 or 2 layers, is we kind of use that as a bit of a barrier to hold some of the weeds back. And you want it in little strips so the water can still trickle through after we put the mulch down. So we kind of just put maybe about 2 layers, 3 layers thick. Something like that. Like somebody's across the street doing some work. So there, you can hear the noise, eh? So there's that there. Now if you want to do some watering, you want to get it nice and wet and soak it. You gonna help me out? And then by this we kind of just rip it up some more because we don't want this to become a real barrier. We want this newspaper to really, it's pretty heavy. We want the newspaper to allow, kind of prevent the weeds from coming up, but the water still to get down, right?
I'm doing it.
There you go. Now I need you to dig in the rotten old compost.
I don't want to.
You don't?
I don't want to touch the...
Why? What's the matter? Are you afraid of that? So this is just wood chips that I've been
yucky.
composting in my backyard for about 2 years, and you can use the stuff you buy from the store. It's all good. What you want to do is when you put this, oh, it smells good. It smells like dirt. Smell that.
Yeah.
You don't like that smell?
Someone likes me!
Yeah, it'll be fine.
That's gonna be in the pity.
Okay, so there are a few benefits to mulching trees. Probably one of the most important is just it's a visual cue. And what I mean by that is by putting the mulch around the tree, visually it kind of signals to people to step away from it and don't walk right up to it. Also when you're whippersnipping, when you're kind of doing line trimming, cutting grass, that sort of thing, what it does is it prevents whippersnippers from coming up to the edge of the tree and kind of knocking off that outer bark. And outer bark is super important because that's where nutrients and water are moved up and down the stem of the tree or plant. Well, I guess tree. We're talking about woody plants here. And by damaging that and cutting into those just under the layer of the outside bark and getting to the inner bark, it compromises the health of the tree. It compromises the ability of the plant to move those moisture, carbohydrates, nutrients where it needs to go throughout the plant, and compromises overall health. And you sometimes see in parks, you sometimes see in people's backyards, where right along the base you see these kind of open places where whippersnippers have kind of damaged those. So mulch definitely prevents people from whippersnipping close. Also, as organic mulches decompose, they release a very small amount of nutrients, so there's a tiny bit of benefit through nutrients. Now, one thing I do want to mention before I wrap this one up is how deep should you mulch? Like how thick should the mulch be? And kind of depends, but really you should be going at about 2 to 3 inches at the most. Any more than that and moisture can't get in. If you're watering your trees, the water can't get in. Also, I've seen cases where people mulch around and they have this mound of mulch like 5 inches, 10 inches, this big, looks kind of nice, but it's terrible for the tree because you have all this moist organic material pressed right up against the base of the tree. and that can cause problems. It can cause disease and that sort of thing. So you want to, when you mulch it, you have it about 2 inches deep, and then you want to make sure that it's just pulled back from the base. Also, too, in some areas, there's voles and other little rodents. If the mulch is too thick, they kind of burrow underneath, and then also it's like a little highway, and they go right up there, and they can girdle the base of the tree. And I've seen this before, where you see these little teeth marks, and they girdle around the base, and usually in the wintertime, and kill the tree off. So mulching about 2 inches, just a little bit off. So you might want to give maybe an inch or so, just a little bit of space, and then you just mulch over, and there you have it, a mulch tree. So I am Jay Dampier for ThunderBayTrees.ca.